Okay, hi everybody. This is my first virtual conference. I guess it's particularly fitting since it's a panel on Derrida and the spectral and hauntings and what have you. So I'm glad that I can haunt you all through technology. So I've prepared some comments about the papers, and I think I'll just read those and let the camera roll. So the participants on this panel have each argued that the question of the university is uniquely connected to the practice of hospitality, faith, and the messianic. Thus, they take up and expand upon Derrida's famous essay entitled The University Without Conditions. In particular, Eduardo importantly connects Derrida's prophecy of a university to come with the historical event of the Habitat of 1158, which granted the theological faculty at the University of Bologna security to study without external impediment. Denise gives us a close reading of Derrida's key concepts, clarifying the articulation between faith, responsibility, and the humanities. And Claudia returns us to the question itself, especially in the university's classroom. She asks, how does the relationship between students and teachers place certain conditions on the unconditional right to ask and to say anything at all? Rather than provide critical comments concerning the individual papers, I want to reframe these papers somewhat in order to reveal the pressing nature of these relations in light of the larger marketization of the university and of social relations more generally, I guess. While Denise makes reference to this marketization of the university, I think it worthwhile and worth our time to further her line of analysis, especially in relation to the question of hospitality. I will then pose a challenge which returns hospitality back into the hands of the multitude and of the commonwealth. So, when we think of hospitality today, we often think of the hospitality industry. This is an industry that commodifies social relationships. Strangers are accepted as guests only when they meet certain predefined economic conditions. Thus, to offer hospitality is to offer hospitality in exchange for a certain price. Those who cannot pay this price of admissions do not receive the goods. Hospitality has therefore become fully co-opted by what some would refer to as biocapitalism, or a capitalism that is concerned with the management of life and of social relations as such. Within biocapitalism, hospitality jobs ranging from flight attendants to massage therapists are on the rise, providing immaterial labor in the form of affective care to the subjects who can pay. In universities, more and more emphasis is placed on business schools on the that focus and have programs in terms of hospitality. Indeed, the university itself might be thought of as part and parcel of this larger hospitality industry. Thus, so much of the investment into university expansion is in terms of better dorm rooms, more advanced facilities, and more marketable recreation centers. Universities market themselves as a lifestyle choice to students as customers or consumers of this hospitality. Take a look at university websites. They present images of diverse students laughing, studying, living together in harmony. The message is clear. Images of hospitality of the university is a marketing strategy to draw students, make students feel safe and included. Thus, it is not that hospitality is lacking in higher education, but rather that it appears everywhere, but in a commodified form. It is only against the rise of the marketized and monetized form of biocapitalist hospitality that the intervention these papers are making gains a certain urgency. Again, commodified hospitality industries, against commodified hospitality industries, all the authors are calling for a return to another form of hospitality. Stated bluntly, there is a shift from economic hospitality to ethical and even perhaps political hospitality. The distinction between accountability and responsibility now returns with more force. Hospitality as accountability is beholden to the accounts of the market, its internal logic of supply and demand. Hospitality as responsibility returns us to the ethical origins of hospitality and thus interrupts or suspends economic imperatives. In this sense, hospitality, which all three authors call for, is a much needed redress, and they all, in their own way, highlight not only the pedagogical but also political/ethical nature of Derrida's injunction. Yet I would like to push beyond Derrida and the papers presented on this panel and push them in a more radical direction, perhaps. In particular, it seems that the university without condition has one condition: the institutionalized form of the university itself. While Denise, Claudia, and Eduardo challenge certain aspects of the university, they all maintain a faith that the university to come is an institution worth fighting for as a kind of deferred ideal. Thus, the role of the scholar and teacher is one of acting as if this ideal were possible, claiming the future possibility. What bothers me here is this deferral. For Derrida, the split inaugurated by deconstruction always emphasizes the lack of presence. But perhaps there is another option here, one that does not focus on the as if, the perhaps, or the to come, but on the kairotic potentiality of the now, of the present, without deferral. So instead of a faith in what is to come, we have more an operation of a kind of testimony to what is. In this sense, I would call for a rereading of to come less as a kind of temporal deferral and more as a spatial displacement. Outside the sacred halls and so here's an example of a spatial displacement that doesn't need faith in the to come so much as testimony for what appears in the present, in the productive space of the now. Outside the sacred halls of the university, there is another university which has appeared in a variety of urban spaces in New York City. As part of Occupy Wall Street, Free University offers a range of classes to anyone interested in attending without having to pay tuition, and anyone who wants can propose and teach a class. Thus, it embodies a radical sense of hospitality without conditions, separating the hospitality of the university from any notion of economic exchange. The Free University is not predicated on any type of faith in the to come or the as if. It is rather a total profanity, a total profanation of faith in the face of a material collective practice emerging from within the now, initiated by a multitude who do not have the protection of the habita described by Eduardo, who have not been paid a fee for their expertise, and who do not have any rights to the privileges sanctified by the university as an institution. This is a university as a social movement, the university as not a university. In this sense, I have to doubt the emphasis on faith, redemption, and messianic coming found in Derrida's writings. It would seem that a more politically urgent and educationally efficacious direction to take would be a profane one, which shifts focuses from the future to the present, from questions to collective actions, and from scholars and institutions to multitudes in the street. Thank you.